Cheating in sports probably happens in every country. But in communist China, it's not an individual misconduct or even a team or a regional act. It's a systematic program that's researched, developed, and reinforced by the centralized government-sponsored sports system in China. It's also the unwritten rules that every Chinese athlete has to follow if they want to advance their career in China. It's been going on for at least 40 years. So in this video, let me explain how the cheating started in China, and let's take a look at some of the most common ways that Chinese athletes cheat in sports. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ali. If you like my content, please help me by liking, sharing, and subscribing. So first of all, let's look at the bigger picture so you can understand why cheating is so widespread and so severe in China, and how is it associated with the CCP's political agendas. After the Communist Party took over China in 1949, Mao emphasized the importance of physical health and sports. At that time, it was all about preparing for the war and to better serve the country. In 1952, the Soviet Union competed in the Olympics for the first time, and the results were largely successful. So that showed China how sports can also be used to demonstrate political power on the international stage. China then learned and adapted the centralized sports system from the Soviet Union, hoping to replicate the success. But the system wasn't really in use because China was too poor and Chinese people were barely surviving between starvation and waves of political movements. Until the Cultural Revolution ended in 1976 and China opened up to the world again. Then suddenly, there's a desperate and urgent need to change China's negative image and to position itself into the global spotlight. So the CCP started pouring money and resources into the sports system. In China, it's called 举国体制, which means the whole country supports for elite sport development. And the goal is very clear, to win Olympic gold medals no matter the cost. In 2004, a Chinese article calculated that China has spent 700 million RMB, which is equal to 84 million US dollars, using 2004's conversion rate, in order to win one Olympic gold medal that year. For the CCP, winning in games is not a simple matter of honor, but rather a political agenda that has to be achieved. And when all the money and resources still couldn't bring back the result they had hoped, the CCP chose a much easier and a more effective way, and that is using performance-enhancing drugs, also known as doping. This lady, Xue Yinxian, she's 86 years old now. She was a professional shot put athlete, the first generation of athletes trained in the centralized sports system in China. And later, she worked as a physician at the General Administration of Sport of China for 36 years. She spent her whole life working in China's sports system, but she was rejected medical care, and her husband was pushed to death, and her son was put into prison for 114 days. All because she was the whistleblower of China's systematic doping program. According to Xue Yinxian, it started in 1979 when a former Chinese physician brought back banned substances and introduced it to the system. And since then, she witnessed countless young athletes forced to take drugs until she lost her job in 1988 for refusing to give substance to an athlete for the Summer Olympics in Seoul. Xue estimated that 10,000 Chinese athletes used the substances in the 80s and 90s, including all medal winners in every major sport. So she said all international medals won by China during this period of time should be declared void because they're all tainted by doping and they were all stolen by China.
吃兴奋剂本来就是偷世界运动员的东西，偷是偷来的金牌啊。
In 2017, she fled China to seek medical help in Germany, and she has been residing there ever since. Over her years in China, she accumulated a total of 68 work journals. After she got out of China, she and her son worked together on organizing the journals and published them as a book called 中国毒品 or China Doping, detailing the state-mandated doping program in China. And thanks to her, it's no longer a secret. Xu Yingxian was actually not the only one openly opposing to doping in China. Some of the athletes also couldn't bear it. In 1995, more than 10 female athletes wrote an open letter revealing that they'd been forced to take large doses of illegal drugs over the years by their coach Ma Junren. Since they started taking the drugs in 1992, the female athletes experienced drastic changes on their bodies, including deeper voice, missing menstrual periods, and especially severe liver problems. But the coach forbid them from seeking medical help, and he also said, if they tested positive in drug tests, the athletes will be taking full responsibilities. Him and China's sports system will not be responsible at all. And that led to all the team members under Coach Ma to drop out of the team and to expose the issue. Has the situation improved over the years? Unfortunately, no. In 2013, the former Director General of the World Anti-Doping Agency, David Howman, told Reuters, quote, 99% of the raw materials for illegal performance-enhancing drugs are emanating from China. And most recently, a German documentary exposed that 23 Chinese swimmers were tested positive for the same banned substance before the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. China gave some lame excuse, and the World Anti-Doping Agency accepted it and did nothing. I wonder what kind of shady deal they made with each other under the table. Faking age is a very common practice in China's sports system. Ren Cancan is a Chinese female boxer who has won 3 world championships. Her official birthday, registered on the International Boxing Association, is January 26, 1988. But she said her actual birthday was April 26, 1986. This is because when she was younger, she lost the chance to win National Female Youth Boxing Championship in China twice. So her coach changed her age so she could join the youth competition one more time to win the championship. And according to Ren Cancan, it's very common for Chinese athletes to change their official age as they advance in China's sports system in order to gain advantage against the younger and weaker opponent. In 2009, out of 15,000 young athletes in Guangdong province, 3,000 were found to have faked their age. And there are reports of athletes faking their age in every sport in China, from soccer to ping pong, from badminton to track. Sometimes, Chinese athletes will also increase their age. In 2010, Dong Fangxiao was stripped of her medals in world gymnastic competitions because she competed when she was underage. News reports in China wrote that she was 13 in 2007. Then suddenly the next year, she became 16, the required minimum age to enter the Olympics. And then China deleted all news reports that contained her actual age. Other than age, gender can also be faked in China. Let me ask you, how many women do you see in this photo? How about this one? According to China, they're all female track runners. But let's listen to them talk. This is an actual female athlete being interviewed. And this is her teammate Liao Mengxue talking.
下一个目标就是争取能在明天的决赛中突围吧，拿到前10的资格吧。
Before he became famous, his social media ID was 河西小王子 or 河西 Little Prince, and he posted many photos of him and his girlfriend. China refused to comment on this issue and insisted that they're female. They even posted photos of Liao Mengxue growing his hair out, wearing pink, and holding a baby. They said he became a mother and he's retired. But dude, please, you're choking the baby. And of course, foul play is another major way of cheating. There are many examples of foul play by Chinese athletes. In 2021, Chinese player Xuan Wu used kickboxing rules in a boxing match against Japanese player Sho Kimura. I'm no expert in boxing, but I'm pretty sure you can't trip or use MMA moves on your opponents. And the Chinese referee just stood there and did nothing to intervene. And what's really disgusting is what Xuan Wu wrote online after winning the game. If you dare to come, I'll send you on the guillotine. No rules are needed when China fights Japan. If he doesn't die, I can't sleep. In comparison, Kimura's response was, there are good and bad individuals in every country. Please don't cast hatred on the Chinese population because of this incident. Another example is in 2022's Winter Olympics. Chinese short track speed skater Fan Kexin flicked the marker into the skates of Canadian competitor Alison Charles, causing both Alison and herself to crash. But the referee disqualified another Canadian competitor, Florence, because of Fan's actions. It was actually very hard to see what Fan did until it was slowed down and replayed many times. In 2023, Chinese track and field athlete Wu Yanni did false start 3 times in the same year, one of which she blamed her fellow Indian competitor Jodi for interfering with her, causing both Jodi and Wu to be disqualified. When it was clearly Wu's own fault, she took off even before the gong shot was taken. But this is her arguing with the referee and trying to blame it on Jodi. And this is what she said when she was asked about the false starts. What an attitude. Match fixing, bribery, and corruption often goes hand in hand, and it happens on a large scale in China's sports system. From the 1999 Chinese soccer match fixing scandal to the subsequent 2001, 2003, 2006, 2007, and 2009 match fixing scandals, the Chinese soccer league is so corrupt there's no hope for it. And so are many other types of sports in China, such as the recent scandal of 3 African runners escorted Chinese runner He Jie in the Beijing half marathon and clearly let him win on purpose. This is an obvious case of match fixing. But other than what we can see, many of the strategic match fixing happened under the table. A famous example was when the Chinese table tennis world champion He Zhili was told to lose to her teammate in 1987. She didn't listen and won gold medals, but she was later kicked out of the team and then she migrated to Japan. Her old team Chen Jing also faced the same situation. Chen left China in 1991 and joined the Taiwanese team. In 2004 Athens Olympics, badminton player Zhou Mi was forced to lose to another Chinese player Zhang Ning so that Zhang could beat the Holland team. Zhou Mi listened, but she moved to Hong Kong after the match. So all of them ended up competing against China. Cheating in sports has not gotten better in China. Instead, it's just done more discreetly in recent years. Because as long as the CCP is in power, the centralized sports system will continue to operate. And this serves only one purpose, which is using sports as a political tool to project national pride and international superiority. So don't be surprised if you see more Chinese athletes cheat to get the medals, because there's no way to fix this unless the system is changed first. That's all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.